whatever that is, for example, the width of a footing or the depth of a footing. You look up that section, that's what governs that particular
I don't know
item.
what he's building.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Jim would furnish that, he has a complete code.
So you made a motion to extend that?
This is a public home.
Yeah, I see.
They have it right.
Point of clarification, what are you motioning? Motioning to extend what?
The building code,
No, they're not.
for 1 full year from the sunset date of the site.
Yeah, I get, is it your opinion that that should be a special warrant article, allowing that?
I don't think it has to be.
I don't know, does it have?
It was voted
I
by
think
the
it does.
people.
I think it does, yes. I think that would be my question to it. I think it has to be a warrant article and allow it to,
Fine, put it in as a warrant article, we're gonna look at it next week, anyway, a couple of weeks.
so do we have a motion and second to place it in as a special warrant article to extend it for 1 additional year?
Yep, from the sunset date.
I'll second it.
So you'd like to do it even if the state doesn't pass theirs?
But yeah, otherwise we don't have anything,
Yeah, I think
so
we
to
need
speak.
something.
If the state comes forward with some form of code, then we automatically have to adopt that. We can be more restrictive, but we can't relax what that code says. So it's just a matter of extending what we already have.
So it'll be extended to 7/1/2013.
Which we thought the state was gonna pass.
Well, they haven't done this.
So I guess I'm not comfortable if the state isn't, I'd like to take, follow the lead of the state. And,
That could be dangerous.
could be, but still. I think I had maybe one comment, I'll take one. Yes,
Excuse me. I was gonna ask if you guys thought you had the authority to extend that. The townspeople voted for it. I don't believe there's any provision here that gives you guys right to take that
That's
vote.
why it's
Well, that's
going
why
on the
they're
warrant.
making a warrant article.
And the second thing is though, is that you don't have to follow the state. And we don't have to adopt what the state says. If we have our own, we have one.
As long as
Okay?
it's
And
not,
if they put a law in, and you've already said they're gonna water it down, we don't have to go and take their watered down version. We can continue to have what we have.
we have to go to equal or greater to
Well,
what the state.
you already will be from what
Okay.
talk I hear.
Right, right.
But I heard Bob say you had to take the states, you don't have to take the states.
They,
It's only
they
if we
were
don't,
mandating you, they were gonna set it up and every town was gonna have to use it.
if a town didn't have it, we already have adopted.
No, they said every town in the state of Maine was gonna be on the same thing, and then the whole thing died. But that's what they said.
Well, I think that meant for any town that didn't have an order, not one that already had one. They can't supersede the town's authority.
Under home rule authority.
Hmm?
Under home rule authority.
Thank you.
What I have right now, Mr. Chairman, is I have a motion and a second to extend 1 year.
I'd really like to be able to talk to Jim before we vote on this, but
And place the addition, excuse me, on the special town meeting warrant coming up for your signature.
Can we have, Jim come in and give us his opinion before we vote it into the warrant article?
Oh, certainly.
I'd rather see that and vote tonight, rather than
Well, I mean,
here next
if,
meeting.
I think we're in a time restraint.
Yeah, we can still do it next.
If we can do the groundwork so that everything is all set and in place, then we either vote it down or not on the next meeting, you know what I'm saying?
You have any,
In place.
I think it was overwhelming that we accept the code. I mean, that was, when it was passed, it was overwhelming, and I don't see any reason, I don't see any particular change that would warrant not having that code in place. Because there are not many teeth in the existing building ordinances that the town has. And so it gives, a little more credential to the put it on the warrant. If it passes, fine, if it doesn't, go back to,
We got 6 months or more to
right.
do something.
Actually, this vote tonight is only preparing it, the writing and whatnot to go on the warrant. And then, when we get to the next selectmen's meeting, then we'll vote if it goes on the warrant or not. And then we'll have the opportunity to have Jim come in here and give his opinion and whatever. So, I mean, it's just, I think we should progressively move forward.
That's fine, Jim, but I think also logistically, I think the warrant article needs to be, or Joe, I should say. I think the warrant article needs to be prepared.
That's right, that's exactly what I said, yeah.
Still have a motion in a second.
Okay.
To, extend it 1 year and place that language on the special town meeting warrant that you will review on the 20th.
And when we see it in written form, we'll have to actually vote on it next week.
Yes, for it to appear on that warrant.
To appear on that warrant.
Right.
Okay, I can go with that. All in favor? I'll take a couple more comments, we're running late. Yes, in the back,
I just wondered if
your name, please?
Jill Farwell, if CMP had given any update on their project, and any exact location of the wires that are coming off the Wentworth Road, Route 4 substation?
I believe the only communication received as a town is just that they're gonna notify everyone about any information on meetings that they have. Is that all we received, Kate?
That is correct. When they're going to have one more, public informational meeting. Last conversation I had with them is that they were looking, they still hadn't secured their, any property interest from Wentworth Road over. They were looking at another alternative for a substation placement on and around Route 236. And they would be making those presentations at another public information
So
meeting.
I noticed that new wires are running up Wentworth Road, and I just wondered, did they need to notify you as a town where they plan to go, or will they just notify property owners?
They will have a public meeting and they will let everyone know where the new lines are going. The work that's going on Wentworth Road right now is just a distribution update.
Okay,
It has nothing to do with this right of way that they're trying to secure, or the utility easement on Route 236.
okay, thank you.
Keith, can this board ask CMP if they would notify every family within so many feet of that easement by letter?
You can instruct me to do that if you'd like, sure. I don't know what kind of standing we'll have with CMP in terms of how they're gonna notify the folks along that corridor.
All right, they had to go after their deeds, but he said that night that, a lot of the easements weren't even in the deeds. When they were taken out, I don't know, and if they were referred back to a previous deed, I didn't see the deed, but I'm just,
Yeah,
repeating what they said.
sure. All I can tell you is what they told us at that meeting and the conversations that I had after with Mr. Carroll.
But I think everybody on that easement, as far as they're going on it, should be notified that there is an easement through their property, and and I really think the CMP should be the ones to notify them. In most towns, they do notify you of everything like that.
Now,
I can add this piece. I spoke with our state representative Beth O'Connor yesterday, and she's going to Augusta, I believe tomorrow. She's going to the PUC, and she's gonna try to find a map, if they have one, or the people that will be affected. Right now, they, officially, the project isn't even off the ground with PUC yet. That's all I can tell you.
We have a map right in our offices here of the easement on the wall.
My husband got a map from John Carroll, and we were within that, whatever you wanna call it, that corridor. But they had never notified us. He got it after coming to this meeting. So does the town have any input on, do they need permits, or CMP is just gonna run it where they're gonna run it?
they're gonna run whatever they wanna run.
I think
As far as
they
I
still have to,
I disagree with that. They're gonna run it in the corridor that they have
Yeah, that they,
a right of way,
Easement.
that's the only place they will run
right,
it. If they run it anywhere else, they've gotta secure the right of way from the landowner, whomever that might be. That's built into the deeds.
you have two distinct issues here. Issue number one is from the substation on Route 4. They have to acquire a new right-of-way from that location all the way over to 236, where they're going to pick up their utility easement that they already have the right to. And I think that's where the rub is, Selectman Murphy, not as much as with the property owners who have, land with they wanna secure, we'll certainly have discussions with them and decide what's best for them. But the utility easement, I think, is where you're referring to, that those folks along that corridor, correct me if I'm wrong, those are the ones that you think need to be notified when this next information meeting.
I think everybody along the corridor that they're planning on doing anything should be notified, wherever that corridor takes them. But, because I think it's very, because when I forgot if it was Carol or who it was, from CMP, Benner, was one of them, who said, when I went, it was Benner, because he's the one that does the research on the deeds.
That's correct.
And he's the one who said, when I looked up the deeds, in the deeds, the easements had been omitted. Well, somebody had to take them out. And maybe there's a reference to a previous deed, that I don't know, but I'm only going on what he said. And he said that the easements were not in all, it was not referenced in all the deeds. And so how would anyone know that there's an easement in the land if it's not in the deed?
That would have to be registered in the county court.
Well, of course it would be, but that's where he was up there researching the deed. And he made that statement that night.
No, I guess what I'm saying, Eleanor, is the fact that if somebody removed that portion out of the deed, it has to be recorded by whom?
Oh, yeah, and it is very illegal.
And I don't know, who that was.
They can refer back to a previous deed, a section of the previous
right,
deed,
yeah.
but that referral has to be there. But from what he said, there was nothing in the deeds.
Yes, he
Yeah, you heard him say
indicated,
that.
yes, he indicated that, some of the, when property was being transferred, the title search is only going back 40 years, when in some cases it should have gone back 60 years, because they would have seen that the utility easement existed. So I don't know who you blame for that. Is it
Title
the-
searches.
Okay. So,
They
you know,
never out quick.
so, I don't know what a homeowner's,
Because in every deed, it should be in there or being referred back to a deed. They should have picked up the referral back,
sure.
if you're doing title searches.
Jim, I have a question.
yes, go ahead, I was gonna
I-
just get back to you.
Participated in a meeting with the sewer department, this last week, and, Mr. Benner was there. And apparently, the sewer department is involved with some of the issues right now. And the location of that, transfer station is being looked at as far as being relocated. And they do have a new avenue that they, think because of the public input as far as where it was going to run and whatever. The Wentworth Road situation is just simply an upgrade of the lines that were up there. And Mr. Stokely had mentioned at that meeting that the lines that were running at the present time, well, before the upgrade, had no insulation and everything was deteriorated to that point that they were upgrading those lines. So they are in the process of trying to locate a place down near and around the sewer department, that they're trying to negotiate with the sewer department right now, and the Kaplans, actually, that own some property down in that area.
From Wentworth Road to there, Joe?
Yes.
Still, cause they're
Yes.
doing work on that Wentworth Road substation, it's all,
Right, that
Cleared out.
Wentworth Road substation is going to be upgraded and it's going to be increased, and this was, he gave quite a spiel, and I wish he had invited and notified some of the townspeople, because the sewer department wouldn't have been able to hold everybody that, would have wanted to go there. But it was a very informative meeting, I'm glad I went. And, they're going to be upgrading the Wentworth Road, the corner of Route 4, that whole substation is going to be increased so that they can bring another line in, I guess, in that area. And, relocating the potential place for a new substation in town.
So would the board advise that property owners, if you have a CMP contact, directly go through them for updated information? Would that probably be the best?
And that's, Mr. Benish says that he has no legal responsibility to notify somebody that isn't directly affected by his presence on their property.
Well, last time we were in that thing and we never had notification,
Right.
so I just
And-
wanna
and-
have
and that's the
updated
thing
info.
where now this whole thing might be relocated a certain way. When
Okay.
it gets down to, I guess, the statement would be brass tacks, then he did say, and that was my comment to him before he left, is that you have people that own property, you better notify them. And he said that he was definitely going to be notifying everybody within that 100-foot corridor and the abutters to that 100-foot corridor. So there has been changes and there has been some different ideas that they're trying to do as far as the relocation of that transfer station.
Thank you for the update.
Okay, that's our public comment. Communications, Keith.
Thank you letter from the county commissioners for us sending our county taxes to them. A request from the,
Tell them to save the postage, can't afford the taxes.
a request from the, Fire Association to, they're having their, annual Fire Safety Day set for Saturday, October 8th, from 9 to 3 p.m. We would like permission again to close, George Street at Lyman and George Street at Sawmill Hill during the above time frame. So I'd entertain a motion in a second to approve those closures.
Discussion? All in favor?
What kind of effect would that have on the people who live on George Street?
We've been,
I'm thinking about access.
sure, we've been doing it for several years and, we
It.
have not had a problem. I believe they accommodate those folks that are living along that corridor. We just got done talking about, CMP, received, I'm sure that a lot of the, taxpayers that are here this evening received this as well. Just a little, card telling that they're getting prepared, to, be setting new electric meters in town, and I'm sure that, there's been a lot of controversy on some of these meters that are being placed. And then they have a telephone number here if you'd like to set up an appointment to speak with them prior to the smart meter being placed or wanna be there when it's placed. We got some information from the Public Utilities Commission relative to some, changes in adoption of rules related to consumer protections under standards for water utilities. It's 4 or 5 pages. It has to do with customer privacies, billing and payment standards, along with payment arrangements and disconnections. If anybody's interested in looking at this information, what we generally do is look at it and see if it refers to a water department the size of Berwick, and then make the accommodations accordingly. A letter from Comcast, when they sent, I don't believe I reported on this at the last meeting, it came in later. We received our first of 2 checks from Comcast for the franchise fee payment. That money, as you know, has now been approved to go into an account to assist the community television folks in getting